Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm about to watch episode 7 of Attack on Titan, and I had a question. How do you pronounce? Is it Coney or Connie?
Connie.
Connie
Yeah, Connie.
and Jean?
Jean.
Jean. Okay, Jean and Connie. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right, talk to you later.
See ya.
Connie and
Jean.
Jean,
Hi, I'm Anna,
and I'm Ben.
and we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching season 1, episode 7 of Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Last episode, I have written down Kid Aaron equals badass because we had this crazy awesome badass moment from Mikasa slaying a Titan, and then shortly after, a flashback, I guess like an origin story of sorts for her, and in which we saw her family's backstory and how tragic that was. Okay, we have to go through the black market thing in a minute, but real quick, after that whole thing happened with her family and she was kidnapped, we saw a badass Kid Aaron just wreck the bad guys, right? It was insane. I didn't expect it based off of what we'd seen from his character earlier in the season. Not that matters, he's
Isn't
dead.
it interesting that we saw how he acted there, and then the first episode of this whole show is basically a year after that.
Yeah.
And we were under the impression that Mikasa had been with them for a much longer period of time because of the relationship that Eren and Mikasa seem to have.
How close.
And kind of how the parents treated Mikasa as if she had been there for a while as well.
Yeah.
And so I think it makes sense now, because if you were in something like that together, what happened when, Black Market, Mikasa was captured, her parents were slain. If you go through that, and then kind of the will to live, and then the will to fight back to save someone else, that bonded them together for sure.
Yeah.
And then just to kind of wrap it all up with how Eren acted to Mikasa afterwards. Not only was he so willing to throw himself into the fray for a girl he had never met, but to be willing to basically think of her as a sister and welcome her into his home with his parents.
Yeah.
So just it was like it didn't even occur to him that it was something he could even think about. He was just like, yeah, come on, come home. I was like, oh my gosh, this makes me love the character of Eren. And I think it almost changes the view I had of him from those first 2 episodes when he was a kid, and just kind of his rash, how he acted.
Yeah.
It kind of changes it slightly of how I actually feel about his actions and how he was thinking when he did them.
Yeah, I agree. He's very defensive of the people that he loves, and he's very sold, I guess, or he's determined, and what's the word? He has his belief, and it's very hard to, what's a good way to put it? It's so hard to put into words because he's so confident, I guess, in his own beliefs that he's willing to act based off of his initial thought,
He was so confident, basically arguing with his father. His father was like, I told you to wait. That could have been dangerous. He was like, yeah, but if I had waited, she would have been gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, he really,
well beyond his years.
He moved immediately because he knew the urgency of the situation. He knew that if he didn't immediately, he probably thought he might even be late to get her. And I'm sure as soon as he realized that she was in there and they were still in there, he was like, I need to act right now.
He had his sense of what he should do and didn't waver once. He just did it. And that was so amazing and interesting to watch happen after he was killed. But again, like I said last episode, I think
focused on Mikasa, obviously. We have a lot of Eren takeaways because I think it kind of answers a lot of questions about their relationship and about Eren's actual behavior and what was kind of in his mind and what pushed him forward in his actions as a child in the first couple episodes. I think a lot of things make a little more sense and seem more well-rounded now in personality, and that's nice to have. And obviously the stuff we got on Mikasa, amazing. And then Black Market sets up. What does it set up for us?
everything.
Everything.
Like, I mean, like, it's so many windows and doors that, like, are open now, I guess. It just leads more belief towards the idea that these higher-ups, these rich people, the people who don't even have to come in contact with the rest of the citizens are dark, potentially. Like, there's this whole back-end society and government to this world that gives me the creeps, more so if not the same as the Titans themselves.
I mean, like, think about it. I mean, if you break down the cadets and, like, where do the strongest people go? The strongest people basically probably never have to fight a Titan. And that's the true shame of all of it, is that they are just bolstering their protection.
Yeah.
They are protecting the way of life they have. They don't care about changing it or fixing it so that everyone can feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to keep their circle safe.
Yeah.
Even though they could protect, potentially, if the strongest fighters potentially were always sent off to kill Titans, who knows if some of these, like, devastating things would have actually happened.
If we could have gotten more information.
I mean, obviously, like, the Colossal Titan is, like, a different story, but before him showing up,
yeah.
what if everyone felt safer? What if less tragedy happened because there were stronger fighters? The smartest, strongest, most agile people were on the front lines fighting.
Yeah.
It's definitely dark. I think that whole backstory just opened up for us that there's not just like a morality of giant Titan human looking things eating smaller humans just for bloodlust.
Humans are still
but it's
villains
like
in
the
their own
humans are messed up
right. as well. And I was still pretty much convincing myself that Eren could have a way back into the show, and I'm still open to it, of course, because, like, you know, main character. But after last episode, I think more than ever, I'm more convinced that maybe he won't come back, and because of the reasoning, I think this gives Mikasa as a character going forward and motivation.
Mm-hmm. That was like the perfect episode to put there to make you kind of like wonder, like, you know, like, is this a change in main character? Is this a shift to who the focus for the rest of the series is going to be on? Because I was thinking, like, Armin and Mikasa have potential for kind of taking over now, right? I think the story kind of... More so Mikasa, obviously.
But I get you.
But, like, Armin as a side to her.
I'm scared of what she's going to act like or react to.
That's the pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, her reaction to hearing the news about Eren
gonna be pissed at
would
Armin,
be pivotal
maybe?
For the plot.
I don't think she'd be mad at Armin, right?
I don't even know if she would think to blame anyone except maybe herself for not being there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because she tried to be there.
Yeah. Okay, one thing real quick before we get into it. We have been made aware that the scouts were leaving.
Yeah.
And not returning.
Which, if I think about the imagery a little bit more, I didn't look back, but they were obviously moving towards the gate.
Yeah.
So imagery-wise from the show, I should have gathered that alone. But they probably said it as well, and we...
Too caught up
in everything else. I mean, to some extent, at the time, that probably seemed like maybe a minor detail to me, and that's why I didn't pay it enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now I know it's not a minor detail because there was literally no one there, and Eren and all of them had to be right in the mix of it all.
I mean, it could be more like, oh, maybe they're scared of the scouts, the Colossal Titan and Armor Titan. They only come when they're gone, kind of thing.
Or when they're already injured and...
Yeah. All right, that's all I have until we get into it. Ready?
Yeah, is this a different character flashback this episode? Like, I have no clue. Is it more Mikasa? Is it her finding out? I don't know. Let's watch it.
Sweet. This is different. I didn't see a book open.
Look how many.
Still don't know how they're able to so
How'd
quick.
they build those walls while keeping back the Titans enough to construct them?
Maybe just human sacrifice again and again and again.
I loved the coloring they did there. I remember that was amazing.
This music,
I
man.
know. I was just thinking that too. Good catch.
Okay.
This was successful though. No one was lost, obviously, except for soldiers. I remember. Oh, I completely forgot she ended with that line.
Dude, I'm such a sucker for like piano heavy instrumentals. Like it hits me so hard.
Piano in general just has a way to make you feel emotional about things.
You give some piano or violin to me and I'm like,
Yes. One fact I really can't wait to learn is if more of them are created or if there's just a giant surplus of them.
like
And that
there's
you could
a
actually make them go extinct, you know? Like, or do more just magically pop up because
Like
they don't reproduce.
like if there's one number that they're like since they've arrived that they've had and every time they're killed like that
It
number
dwindles.
lessens or they continue to reproduce.
That's what I really want to know.
If they reproduce in any way, a lot more hopeless of a cause, right?
Yeah. But if there's a set number, then every one you take down is an achievement that's
Yeah.
worth praise.
Connie, Jean, the small blade.
Is this representing a different character?
Maybe one of Mika's blades broke. Remember?
Yeah, it did. Are they trying to keep them from leaving?
Holy shit!
I mean, I guess it's traitorous to say to go against procedure.
Procedure my ass, dude. Is that a church?
Did they want to get at this building for some reason?
I mean, they're looking for people, right? Everybody else is evacuated.
So they must have some sense that there were people in here? Or they saw them go in there?
Maybe some sense.
Like a strong sense of... Are you freaking kidding me? And then they just skipped to something else right up.
Holy shit. I've asked what the fuck. No sense of hope. So that's headquarters?
I guess. Yeah, so what are they supposed to do without it?
I haven't even like thought about that. They have a finite resource of mobility. Oh my god. It's like they've all accepted defeat.
There's gonna have to be a select group that like haven't given up yet. Trauma.
Is she gonna take control? No.
Oh no. He's not gonna want to answer to her. She's having to create a wall inside of her, I'm sure.
She kind of learned to do this in the flashback we saw, right?
She already knows what it's like to lose people that she loves and then keep fighting and kind of cut off emotion.
This is literally like what Eren said to her last episode, motivating her, I feel like. Even on my own.
What?
If she doesn't fight, she won't survive. I mean, it seems like it's doing the job.
It's gonna work. This is your fault, Eren.
Jean is making the motivational
speech. He's turning into such a good character. I can't wait to see it. Of course they leave. I knew they would too. Marco, come on. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so into this.
Sasha and Mikasa would make such a good team.
Oh my god.
Does she have a plan? Or is she just kind of moving on adrenaline?
She's killed like 3, 4.
Yeah.
Oh
Armin.
no.
Armin.
Okay. Jean's good at finding them and getting there.
He has to take over Mikasa's kind of leading the charge of the mission.
Oh man.
The scene around her is so terrifying too because the walls are so big and the people and the Titans are so big. It's.
Do you see how like veiny it is?
So
Okay.
Armin and Connie are gonna be coming for her right now,
Black
right?
box, a closely guarded secret by its engineers. Yeah. They're running out of gas so quick. Come on, John.
I don't know how I can watch episode after episode of that happening. I don't think I'll get desensitized to it.
I keep thinking somebody's gonna jump in the last second.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen.
Come on, John. Come on, dude.
Look how freaking gross that looks.
Don't give up.
Just look at that smile.
Armin's gotta come in, right?
And Connie. Either one.
What is that?
Did she decide suddenly to not give up?
Maybe. Why does she keep going?
Is she questioning herself now about it?
Oh no. Armin has to come in, dude.
Or is she gonna take both of them down?
Maybe.
But like, or...
She doesn't have any gas, though.
Oh my god, what a reason.
Whoa.
They fight each other?
Is it like my food kind of thing?
Oh yeah, they could be like fighting over...
But
that
they're
one's
not.
ripped. Is this like on the level of the Colossal and the art?
What is the visual that they keep showing?
Why the pomegranate?
I'm so fucking confused. It looked like it was running and stuff like the Colossal or Armored. You know how the Armored, like, how they, like, posed and, like, had more humanistic?
It's like a dinosaur. It's like territorial.
Is that how they communicate? That looks just like, what's her name? Annie? Or...
Oh my god, we even woke Sachi up!
Oh my god!
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sachi.
That was so cool. That animation, dude. It looked. Did you see its like fighting stance? It looked like Annie
It looked like it
Leonhardt's.
was like actually gonna box or something.
It looked like Annie's fighting stance. Like that's the only thing.
Appeared to know rudimentary combat skills.
Aberrant or abnormal, right?
I mean, I guess you could say there would be one that wouldn't want to do it or wouldn't have the instinct.
I'm having trouble focusing on the story. I'm. Short blade? What was the title of the episode?
I think it was like small blade or short blade. I love the sentiment. We could have let him keep it. Please, you could have just let him keep it, you know, for his own like sense of protection.
I'm so fucking confused, bro.
As are we.
Does it happen?
I mean, like abnormal, like things are in.
The rage of humanity.
It's very like dinosaur elf.
Could you write down the rage of humanity?
Rage of humanity?
Yeah, Sachi's on my notebook. Okay, that was Attack on Titan, Season 1, Episode 7.
Yep.
Can we not? Like, okay.
Can we not what? Discuss it?
It's hard not to, like... Okay, we need to be... Let's go in linear order. He doesn't have his
notebook right now because Sachi decided it was the perfect place to take a nap. So...
Well, no, it's hard not to just immediately try to figure out what the fuck's going on with the Titan shit. But, okay, chronologically...
Set, like,
okay.
Yeah. Clear everything out. Like,
episode opens. We're all kind of trying to find a will to live, right? A will
Yep.
to keep fighting.
Which, like,
Fucking,
no one had it.
this dude shot himself. I was about to be like, oh, I've been wondering
I'm
what
not
the guns
surprised.
are for.
I'm
Like,
not surprised sometimes that like people in this situation like that, if you think about it some degree, like, wouldn't you rather have some type of control over how your life ended when you're in like a state like that? But like, to think like that, you would think that more of them would have the will, like how Sasha and Mikasa were being like, you guys are cowards, you know, like, would you rather just die like this, or possibly like, even try for that 1% possibility that you could win and live? And I'm like, you all, like, I felt like more of them should have been from the get-go being like, yeah, you're right, okay.
yeah.
Or like ready to just keep fighting and putting your fear behind you. But I mean, if you think about it, you might go into it thinking you could do that, but then when you're faced with that actual fear, you can't really control how your body responds to fear. Sometimes you shake, sometimes you're frozen. Sometimes you run away. Like, obviously, a lot of the who were they called? The people that were supposed to supply them?
I have it
They
in my
had
notebook,
like
but
might have been the supply team or
Yeah.
something. They all freaking left everyone out to dry. Like,
Yeah.
that was horrible. And then they die for it. They got nothing from that except death.
Mhm.
And then they probably killed some other people because they didn't get the gas.
well, that kind of makes what our crew that we're following right now, like, and what they're doing, kind of more like heroic, I guess. They're not fighting to escape, right? Like, they're fighting to like save who they can and try to save HQ.
Yeah. Because
Um,
HQ has a bunch of supplies probably that they
gas.
need. The gas especially. But like, what is their goal at the moment? Just drive to get the Titans to leave? Because we don't know, like, obviously this brings up the intro conversation. We don't know how many there are. If you get rid of 4, does that decrease the number of Titans on the planet by 4?
At the end of the day, though, this is like the only safe place they have, safe in quotations, like somewhat inside the wall. So every inch counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every inch that they can have counts. So like, I get that, like, protect it, everything, but to
Like, right here in the story, what are they trying to do? I mean, the people have already been evacuated. So
try to save who is in the armory or the HQ,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to retake it back. I don't know how you close up the hole, though, because
Yeah.
that was talked about earlier, and what, like 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes, Armin was like, if we don't close up the hole, they're just going to keep coming through, so it's kind of like a dead end.
yeah, so that's why they just retreated back and haven't reclaimed that land. Which just makes me think of how they build the walls to begin with. Did they quickly get away from the Titans, and did they just sacrifice tons of people?
Dude, fucking, like, look at history and look at, like, how many, like, Great Wall of China or any, like, big project or, you know, any big architectural idea, how long that takes to actually come to fruition and then put it out into, like,
Yeah.
real life years.
And
How
they didn't
long?
even have giant humanoid things trying to eat them.
Well, of course, like, in a time of war, your society tends to work harder. So, but still, that seems like a big feat to accomplish.
Yeah.
We don't know how long it took them to build it, to be fair. But, and you'd think if you built the outer wall first, then you could have more time to go the inner
Right.
walls.
So it's like that's probably why the outer wall is shorter, because you tried to make it.
Is it shorter?
Don't they get taller the further in?
I'd imagine they would. I don't know
I thought
that,
that's
though.
what they did, and by the imagery, it always looked like they did.
True.
Could be wrong. But I mean, it would make sense to build them taller, because you would think if a Titan could get in that first one, they must be over 50 feet tall. So then I don't want my second wall to also be 50 feet tall. I want it to be even taller.
But then wouldn't you, like, after getting, like, the smallest one, wouldn't you just go back to the outwardmost one and then build that higher? I guess they wouldn't have a reason to, because it worked for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a reason to bolster the defenses anymore. It seems
Before
like they
the
haven't had
Armored
reason to,
Apostle.
like, do any more technological advances. To some degree. I'm not really sure how technologically advanced they are
upgraded
compared
the
to how they
cannons.
were. They upgraded the cannons.
Mikas is a badass. I am obsessed with her character, and I like like every word that she was saying I really felt like
Mm-hmm.
even like regardless of agreeing, disagreeing, whatever, it just like it felt so true to this character that I've only known for 7 episodes, but like it you could see how it every word that she said affected characters around her, including
Just like
Jean,
Aaron.
who is shaping up to be, I think, a crazy cool character.
I'm like, is he even gonna go military police? I feel like, or military police, what are they? The
Cat on my notebook. It's
Cat on
military
notebook.
regiment.
Military regiment. He might still do that and then try to protect everyone from there.
He might feel guilt when he tries to do it
But
initially.
he might feel guilt for not being on the front when he's so talented. He might realize that they really do need the most talented fighters
out there.
And it's kind of a shame that the most talented are just being sent to kind of live a lavish life.
He wouldn't even have to come up with that realization on his own because Aaron told him that.
Mm-hmm.
It came from Aaron's mouth saying, haven't you realized the most talented people are going to the... Yeah, like, oh my god.
It's because if you think about it from just like a broad sense, it really does seem like this society doesn't care to change the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
The higher up people, no one seems... That's like... So when I brought up the technological advances, like, yeah, cool. They like souped up their cannons or something. But it doesn't seem like they're trying to go the extra mile to build like tanks or, I don't know, build the wall up more, reinforce it. It doesn't really seem like they're trying to go the extra mile at changing the situation.
It's like they're putting band-aids over it. They're
Yeah.
not trying to actually like rectify or fortify anything further, you know?
You know what could be super effective that I just thought of? What if they made hot air balloons? And then they
They have
just
the
hot air
technology?
balloon above the country, and then they can jump down and like doo, and then get back in the hot air balloon or something. I don't know.
Theoretically,
Or
it'd be
planes,
awesome.
but that just seems way more advanced.
I
Than
don't
a hot
even
air
know
balloon.
what they can and can't do.
Yeah,
bro.
we don't know what like.
We went from talking about fucking black markets to somebody shooting themselves in the head to instantly
and he did
cutting
it so
to.
nonchalantly too.
That's what was so disturbing about it.
And then they could cut it. Like they cut to other stuff going on like 5 seconds later.
There was no
like,
contemplation. There was like, oh sweet, finally, now I can do it.
He knew
like,
exactly what he was doing. No reservation about it.
Which
it
is
didn't even
more
seem
sad.
Like more depressing.
more
yes.
just disturbing.
And like it seemed like all of the people that were with him were under the impression that he had a plan to help everyone, and then he just was like,
I mean, watching it like in the first 2 seconds, I'm like, oh, he has a gun. What's he gonna do with that? I don't know if that's gonna beat the Titans, but I mean, worth a try.
Didn't the girl say something like that to
Yeah.
him and be like, a gun? Do you really think a gun's gonna do anything? And he was like, yeah, well, just not the thing you're thinking of.
Mikas is a badass. Jean has potential to be a crazy, amazing character, I think. It could also take up Aaron's will. I think
Yes.
that Connie.
I know. I was like, I had to remind myself of that during the show.
Connie is alive. Jean's alive. We didn't see anybody crazy close to us. I don't think
we didn't see
die this episode.
the people that when Jean was then leading kind of the march.
Yeah.
The people that were taken by the Titans were not people of note to us, like names we have.
in comparison to
in comparison.
Connie and Jean and
Yeah.
Mikasa, Armin.
I think Marco was around there somewhere.
Yeah.
Annie, yeah. So none of the people that.
Okay, we're getting close enough to it in the discussion. I need to fucking go back to the scene where the one dude rocked the other dude's shit. So right when
The one dude rocked the other dude's shit. Do you mean the Titans?
yes,
Okay, I was like,
I
was trying to imagine some humans rocking each other's shit, but
so what the editing, first of all, amazing, right? Like we first saw the pomegranate, or was it like
it's a pomegranate.
no, like the close up in her,
Like a cell?
it looked kind of like a cell, kind of
Is
like
that
the
what the
pomegranate.
stands for? Is like it's like a human body. It's like a bunch of cells inside of a thing.
Like it looked very cellular, right?
Yeah. So I guess that's why a pomegranate looks similar.
Are there any audio cues?
this moment was spectacular.
What is that? It's like
I feel like that's like her body moving without her without her instructing it to. It's like with its own. Her body just takes control and moves, and
it reminds me of the sound it made when she like went Super Saiyan last episode when like she like dug her feet in the ground. Yeah,
like her body overrides her brain.
Yeah,
at the time.
I think so too. The pomegranate, other than just being like visually,
just like a symbolism.
Yeah, and nice to look at too.
I love pomegranates, but now I look at them differently. Thank you, Attack on Titan.
I don't really understand the symbolism of it. I'm trying, like...
I think it's more just a visual, if anything.
Yeah.
I started to try to think of does the fruit have a meaning? Like, apples have a meaning with, like, religion, but, like, does a pomegranate have a meaning? I think it's purely just visual.
I don't get what is going on with the other Titan. I like the only thing, like the first notable thing to me, other than the obvious, it going after this other Titan, I firstly was like kind of territorial or it's mine.
But they don't eat for... That would only work, right? If they eat for sustenance. If
no.
they eat to survive.
If they just want to kill, it could be like, I want this kill, not you.
Okay.
But then once it took up the Annie fighting stance from whatever episode that was, like 4 or something, then I was like, okay, that's... The only time we've seen that in a Titan is, I think, the Armored Titan. I don't know if we saw anything like that with the Colossal. We've only seen, like, a kick.
The Colossal just kind of is just really tall and stands there and then kicks the wall down.
The Armored though,
Titan runs and
he had, like, a stance,
down. Yeah.
You know?
He, like, prepared himself to run.
Yeah.
And charge.
And this one prepared himself to fight.
League as them for sure.
Yeah.
Like, on, like, a thinking about what they're doing level. Like, all the other Titans kind of just walk around aimlessly looking for people. But it seems like this one's in the same league.
It's
Obviously,
ripped.
It's ripped just kind of like the Armored Titan seemed ripped.
We got a measurement for it, right?
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when they were saying the two were standing next to each other.
Was it 50?
Can we go 15? Back to see what that was?
It's not when they're standing.
They're on top of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So Mikasa has already been rescued. And I think... So they're looking.
That other one just instantly got wrecked.
Oh, it was before this. I think it was when they first got to her and looked over and saw that they were standing next to each other. We need to move.
Yeah, it's right now.
It, like, knows.
Okay, 15-meter class Titans.
Isn't that weird? That, like, this Titan seems to know that the other... We've never seen the Titans be territorial with each other, but this other Titan seems to know that the new special Titan is something else.
They screamed like at each other, like there was dialogue.
Did the other Titan realize that this one had killed another Titan? Just doesn't it look like a dinosaur right there?
If there is some sort of like that fighting stance looks like
you're really preparing yourself.
And the light like on the Titan looks very similar like to the light that's shown on the pomegranate. Not that there's anything there, but it's like literally right after that course of events. But I don't know what to think.
Wild.
So if there's like a hive mind thing, like we've talked about, like maybe there's like a hierarchy of like the Armored Titan and the Colossal Titan, like being more intelligent and like sending out these other Titans to kind of do like as pawns to kind of do like, okay, kill these, and then we're going to come in when it comes to an objective. If they do have that much intelligence, this could be something on the same level as an Armored Titan or Colossal Titan, and it's like consciousness has motivated it to have another way of doing things. Like it could, I don't know how much thought this has, you know, because we haven't been told, but like this seems very, I am choosing to do what I'm doing, you know, I'm choosing a different way. And what's the thing that Mikasa said?
Rage of humanity.
Rage of humanity. I need the line.
It was like the last line of the whole episode.
I felt a glimmer of exhilaration. I felt
Long
the
pause.
rage of humanity itself was embodied in what I saw.
Interesting. Look at that stance, even though that's like someone like screaming out in like pain or agony or rage, probably. Like I could see that like stance alone representing those feelings.
What does that mean?
I do know that now we know that Titans possibly know how they are killed.
Yeah,
they
but
know what they know what their own weak
So
spot
do you
is.
think the Titans that have just died in front of us have a consciousness? Do you think that they have anything in them besides the desire to kill?
They have enough to see it. I was wondering how and why they all got to the HQ building. Like, how did they know there were people in there? They have some sense to know, because the people were in there weren't coming out. They were in there supplying and stocking, but they knew there were people in that building enough to like look in it. So
Yeah.
it's not like they're going up to every house, peeking into every window.
Yeah, it seemed like they have some
They
sense,
have some
right?
sense of where the people are.
Like a sixth sense kind of thing.
Or like a
Like a
strong
radar.
sense of smell.
We haven't had any like visual cues of them
Echolocation?
like tracking to somebody, you
No.
know? It's not like a zombie kind of thing or like a White Walker kind of thing where you're hiding and if you make a move then
If you
they
make
know
a
you're
sound
there.
or
Yeah.
you smell like something, they'll smell it. I don't know. Dang.
I'm so confused.
What's gonna happen now? Because obviously, like, Armin doesn't have a lot of gas left. And now, like, what's happening? I want to know what's happening back with Jean and everyone else. Like,
Is Jean gonna like take lead?
are they still heading towards HQ? Or is he still on top of the building at the time that this is happening? Is Mikasa gonna catch back up with them and lead the charge again?
Do other Titans have this like second layer of teeth? You know what I mean?
That, like, second back part of
Yeah.
the jaw?
Mm-hmm.
No, they just have these really creepy kind of straight smile teeth.
I feel like I just haven't been paying attention enough.
I haven't examined their teeth enough. All of them, okay, so it is interesting that all of the regular seeming Titans are more just like blobby human looking, and then the ones that are seemingly different in their consciousness level and like acting different, they're the ones that have non-humanoid attributes and or are super different just in how they look.
I feel like I'm fucking missing something.
I feel like it's really hard to talk and like articulate my thoughts in a way that doesn't just sound like, whoa, that's
Well, what does
awesome."
this mean going forward? Is this gonna be like a fucking like Clifford the Big Red Dog situation? Are we gonna like have
They
like this
keep it
big
as a
boy
pet?
hanging around like with us?
Is it gonna show up by lightning? We didn't even see how it appeared.
Very good point. It just kind of came out from behind Mikasa, and I definitely assumed that she was just getting cornered or
By two. It didn't look weird when it came up behind her, but I think maybe I just wasn't looking out for something to look weird.
is like I don't
Oh, wow.
I don't know what to like think going forward. It's like hard to make like I don't know if this thing's just gonna pop in and out in the next like 4 seasons and we're not gonna know anything.
Is it gonna show up just like the Colossal and Armored Titan every time?
Is it like Like the Colossal and Armor Titan, every time it's shown up, it's been around our main characters. This one showed up around our main characters. Like, is it just like a random
Quinky dink? I just realized that saying that word would not make sense in translation. So
What,
coincidence is the word that I said. Just in a funny way.
There's no way it's Aaron's will. Right? Whether like like a, what do you call it? Reincarnation kind of thing, or a,
I mean, wouldn't that be interesting if it's not that, like, didn't we say something about if you get swallowed by a titan, do you become one or something?
well, I was not in general. I was thinking, well, either if you get swallowed by a titan, then you could like birth one out later in some grotesque manner, or if like I had the poison blood thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For Aaron's dad injecting him with something. If what if it was like a, all right, this titan just ingested your blood, and you're going to somehow overpower its DNA.
Ooh,
and
like you are taking it on like a suit of armor? Is that what you mean? Or you become it? You meld with it?
So you know how it showed us like the DNA of Mikasa? What if it was like a cellular level of, once this thing got eaten, then Aaron, like its blood, like because of what his dad gave him, like just took over the Titan, and like he like his like body of will or strength. What Rage of Humanity is like. When I heard that line of Mikasa, I just think of all those scenes of like that we've seen of like Aaron like gritting his teeth about like his, I'm going to kill every last Titan, and that like, I don't know how the fuck that would work. Does that mean every time like if Armin dies he would come back, or was it like a shot thing?
These are good questions.
It's infuriating because I don't know what I'm. I don't know what the hell that like this means. Its teeth look weird. It has pointy ears. So the other ones have pointy ears.
And its hair is more lively than the other ones.
Its obvious comparisons are Colossal and Armored, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything close to it. Even Abnormal, right? They didn't seem this intelligent because we've only really seen one, right? It was like jumping.
Mm-hmm. Like a frog. Intelligent is different than animalistic, I guess you could say. Like, it jumped to get prey like a frog would.
How is a Titan's physique determined? We saw this fat baby boy coming around the corner, just walloping around, and you can see veiny stomachs and shit. And then you see this other Titan come in, and he's jacked, man. I don't. How? What's the difference? How does one become one way? Are these even questions that are going to be answered ever? Like,
I just as soon as Mikasa was like in this alleyway, the visual alone said so many words by the fact that she's this tiny person. They built these streets and these buildings and these walls so high that it's like you're surrounded. You are an ant in your own like homeland. It was just a crazy visual.
Yeah.
It almost seems like the Titans fit in the landscape better than the humans do.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to drive myself crazy if I talk about this anymore. I don't think that I don't know what to even
I have
think.
lots of questions, and I have no answers to your questions and no answers to my own questions.
I feel like next episode they're just going to try to get into the armory or head HQ and
save anyone that's even there to be saved.
Maybe the next few episodes. I don't know how you do that.
We saw the smaller Titans were already in there, like, eating people. So
it's already, like, an uphill battle enough that you are literally trying to kill these things. And now you're running low on gas. And I'm assuming swords.
It sucks that there's some some handicap to having these amazing machines that you can fly all over the city and cut the necks of the Titans.
It makes sense,
It
right?
makes sense, obviously. I don't know why it didn't occur to me that they could run out.
Me either, though.
But it's just... That's probably where a bunch of the casualties would come from.
I'm telling you, this man's jaw is different.
It looks like an actual shape of an actual human jaw.
Torqued Titan has like a 2-tower jaw.
What did you call him?
Torqued Titan. But like all these like normie Titans are just look like regular normal people.
Just really bloated, normal, naked people.
I'm so fucking confused.
Extra veiny, though.
I don't like those sequence of words.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all I have. You?
It's hard to describe them in a
I
way that
know.
doesn't sound disgusting. Okay, yeah, I have no more other than like you said, driving myself crazy. I have nothing else to say that won't just drive me further into insanity.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.